Yes, and welcome to another video, this time about why you should assign at least $500 to your dropshipping business. And the reason why I do this video is because so many people in forums and Facebook and so on say that they spent already $100 on their business and they still don't see any results, and they are really shocked and confused about how this can be true. And this is something where I really question if they take the whole thing seriously, because if you spend $100 on your business for ads or marketing or whatever, this is barely anything. So it's not that you are a big step ahead already, because 100 bucks can basically be spent on Facebook within a few days on ads only. So in this video I will really tell you why I think you should have at least $500 to play with for your dropshipping journey. Of course, it also makes sense if you have more, so you can spend more on marketing, or you can even switch from the dropshipping model to a stock-based model. But so let's just continue with the video about why you should have at least $500. And the first thing is that the shop software costs at least $29 a month. Of course, Shopify also has a trial version that can be extended to up to 2 months. And you can also use WooCommerce or something like this, which is free. But in a nutshell, you really need $29 for Shopify a month, and you should plan this in your budget. The next thing is a domain. So many people started a Shopify store, a dropshipping store, without a domain, and this looks really, really unprofessional. So if your domain is abc.myshopify.com, this looks really, really unprofessional, and I highly recommend to buy a domain. It's only usually around $15 a year, sometimes less, sometimes a bit more, but always get a custom domain for you, so this will always sound a lot better. The next thing are plugins, and this means plugins for Shopify like Oberlo or maybe Klaviyo, Lucky Orange, a lot of things. So you don't really need them, so it's absolutely possible to only get along with free plugins. But I'd say the average amount of money you would spend on plugins per month if you use several ones is around $15. So most of the time when I have a store, I spend like $10 to $50 a month on plugins. So 15 is usually a very good base for calculation when it comes to your personal plugins. But again, often you don't require any paid plugins at all. Then the biggest part of the whole equation is advertising, and I'd say that you need at least $150 to $200 a month for this. And the per month is a little, it doesn't fit that well here, because let's say you do Facebook ads for $5 a day, and you do split test them, so you have two. This means you spend $10 a day, and you do it, for example, for 1 week. And then you pause the ad for a few days, and then you start again. Maybe you increase one budget for the one ad. So it can really depend on what you are doing, but I think that $150 to $200 is a really good amount. Let's say you do influencer marketing. Maybe you spend your influencer $100 for a single post or something like this, or you do Google AdWords or some other stuff. $150 to $200 for a month, or your first month, is pretty realistic if you want to get and achieve some results. So with the $5 per day ad, you can also make money, of course, and it's possible to have a budget of only $50 a month on ads. But usually you need to spend more so that you get more data and get more insights about your target audience. And it's much more likely that you make some sales if you increase the budget, of course. So if you say that you only have $50 for ads, then it will get really, really hard to see some real results with this. And this is why I said that you would need at least $150 to $200 when you want to do a continuous campaign and really want to promote a store where a competition might be very strong already. The next thing is, I marked it in red because it's just a hypothetical cost factor, and these are product upfront costs. And that means that even in dropshipping, you might have to pay for the products yourself, because let's say PayPal or another payment processor holds your funds, or you cannot access them immediately, or some other things happen. That means that you have to pay even though these are not real costs, so you get them back, or you've gotten them back already, but you can't use them. So if your savings are only $200 and now you have to pay for Shopify for ads, and then you even have to pay for a product because you didn't receive the money yet, it might be a problem for you. So usually any one of us can afford AliExpress product. It shouldn't be a big deal. But if you're really on a very, very, very tight budget and you calculate any dollar, then always keep in mind that here and there you might have to pay some products up front before you get the money. So it's really hard to. This is the reason why I think it's really, really hard. If you have just $100 or $200 and nothing more, then yeah, the whole business is extremely hard, and in my opinion, almost not doable. So keep this in mind, that sometimes you might have to pay out of your own pocket, not without getting the funds immediately. And the last thing is that you should always have a minor cash reserve, and this is this should be pretty obvious, because there can happen a lot of things. Your supplier may raise the prices, or maybe you run out of ads and you just need like a few more days, or you are seeing results from ads but you need a little more, or maybe you find another very interesting product and you have to make some adjustments, or you have to pay for another plugin that you didn't think you would need in the beginning. So there can be a lot of things that cause you to pay extra money, or that can have some major impacts in your business. And this is why you should always have some money aside. So if you add these up, 29 plus 15, plus 15 as a one-time payment for 1 year, then we are at around, depends on how big your advertising is, maybe $100 to $250 or $300, and then a cash reserve of at least $200. And this is how I come up with $500 as a minimum. So I always, even if I don't plan to pay that much, I always have the reserve, and I always keep it in mind that I may need a little bit more. So if you really have only $100 or $200, then I would really think twice about whether you would do this or not, because even though these numbers look very, very good and cheap, there can be a lot of things that you need in the end. So I hope you liked the video and this is helpful for you, and see you next time then.